Ba 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 ba. Bashers back in the studio, back in the real room. Where was that picture? It took me forever to find it. Somehow the StreamYard gods decided to do me in. Crazy. How are you all on this Thursday? Thursday, it's the day before Friday. It's the day without a walkabout, which I'm going to do tomorrow because I had so much fun last Friday and taking you all along with me and all of that fun stuff. Let's see who's in the room. First in the room tonight is Easy E. Wow, number one, have to go to work, but did manage a first upvote. And what? Hope it's a great show, and we'll catch the replay after it. Bashties. So many words. Bashers, basheroos, bastardos, bastards, bashties, bashies. There's so many. You guys have made up so many names. We're gonna be doing some merch with some fun stuff. T-shirts that just show who you are. Time Flies is here. Have a great show, Dirk, and upvote 100%. Thank you so much, Time Flies. Thank you. Dave Fahrenheit 451 upvoted number 6 on the 6th day of June. Thank you so much. Great to see you. Third in line, he's honored. Hey, Ray, what's up with you, kiddo? Andrew Wolkowicz, Canadian $5 super chats. Super chat. What are a few of my favorite things? I bet you like girls in white dresses with blue satin sashes, snowflakes that stay on my nose and eyelashes, silver white winters that melt into spring. These are a few of Andrew's favorite things. Let's give you a big old smasheroonie for that. As always, start out with the big gong. I'm working till 5:30, but everyone else should enjoy the show. Well, we're on till 6:00. That's all I'm saying. Andrew Olkowicz. Dean is here. Dean. What is up, Dirk and the Bashers? What is up? It's Thursday. We're trying to figure out what we're going to do tomorrow. I'm going to ask you guys where you want me to go. I'm starting at 6 p.m. because Who Needs a Drink is on from 4 to 6. Yesterday's show was like, I guess my only competition in the world is Oshina Malik, because he did a really long one. I watched most of it and I watched the replay afterwards. It was really fun. And I watched Summertime last night, a movie I've seen 50,000 times. We talked about it last night. And it's because he went right past when he was on the 6, or was he on the 1? He was on the bus, and he went right past the hotel where Katharine Hepburn supposedly stayed. Now, the hotel is not really there. They use a lot of different locations, like her terrace is on the Zatere, and it's Hollywood and stuff, whatever. But I love that movie. But I've seen it so many times. But last night, the one thing I took away from that was like, what is she so upset about? Okay, so she's uptight. It's the 50s. I get it. But it's as if they don't reveal a particular secret that she has. Like, is she a virgin? Did she just get off of a bad breakup? What is it that the reason for why she's acting so, she's hot and cold and a little bit crazy too, because then she makes out with him on a canal, and she's like, I love you, and runs away. Very strange. I mean, I watched it with different eyes last night. I haven't probably seen it in a year or two, whatever, but that's fine. Vaughn is here. Hey, today is 6-6, the number of the beast. Yes, we're missing a 6 to complete the set, damn it. Maybe start at 6 tonight instead of 5. Dun, dun, dun. If you have that record, didn't you always think that side 2 should have been side 1 and side 1 should have been side 2? It's just very strange, considering that they never played that song live, ever. They never played Invaders live. Never. First song on the record. Carolyn Martin, the girl with the wrenches hair with her ridgeback. Hello, all. Great to see you in the room, Carolyn Martin. Dave Fahrenheit 451 says, good evening, Ms. Martin, and welcome. Vasilios from Greece is here. Good evening, all. And, ladies and gentlemen, I'm making an announcement. Scott E. Love is now a Patreon. He is. So you know what that means? I have to go to the banners. I gotta edit it. And I've got to add his name to the Scott E. Love. Scott E. Love. Let me get that in there. Amazing. I did a little video for him today on the Patreon channel. Why is this all in capital letters? My keyboard is so old, and I have 2 brand new keyboards in boxes, and I never open them up because I love the way this one feels. I should have been done with this a long time ago. There it is. And it's done. Save it, and now I can show it. Ladies and gentlemen, the Patreon Pantheon is now as follows. Jim Lassick, Andrew Wolkowicz, Go Moto Soto, Nick Sisto, Complicated Time, Fargal McDormott, Nathaniel Hannon, Dana O'Malley, Lord Scotty H, Dean McKenzie, Al Benedetti, Angelo Minichiello. We have some farm photos from him today. Gasman 308, Danny L, Dave Fahrenheit 451, Dave Fitzsimons, Lady with the Wrench, Lady Martin, Lady with the Wrench, Easy E, Mimi R, Chris Upper East Side, Drew B, and now, ladies and gentlemen, Scotty Love is now a Patreon. I can't thank you enough. Thank you so much for that. Carolyn Martin says, evening, Dave. Being cordial as always. Vasilio says 12. Is it 12 o'clock in Greece right now? Wow. I guess it would be, right? If Italy is 6 hours, you're 7. Is that how it works? I get confused when stuff gets far, far, far away. Vaughn is here. Aquaterra GMT Chrono is out of customs jail. Oh my God. And it's on your wrist. Oh my God, you got to send the pictures over right now so we could do it. We've been talking about this for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. Mr. Vaughn, where is it? I've got pics from Melly C and from Ken and from Rich and from Angelo and from Ray and Andrew, Ken again. I've got a bunch of pictures for the Bastards Gallery, the Gallery of Bastards. Send me your shots, the sublime and obscure, the words of Emmett O'Malley, from the lyrical songbook of Mr. Emmett O'Malley. He's working on something new right now, and I'm wondering what it's going to sound like. He's a busy guy. I can't believe he finds time to squeeze in to contribute to this show. I'm so lucky. You're so lucky. He's so talented. Alain Gilbert, bonsoir, everyone. Bonsoir to you. Martin Short as Hepburn was great. Yeah, he does a very good Katharine Hepburn with the shakes. You know, she was, we looked it up. She was 48 years old when she made Summertime. It's 1955. Because holy shit, she was born in the, 1907 or something. Was it 97? It was 1955. Yeah. So she's like 48, 49 years old in that movie. She looks great, for as good, if you like Katharine Hepburn. She's very trim and slim. And she falls in love with Rosanna Barazzi, who is 39. So he's 10 years her junior. And I'm not going to spoil the movie if you've never seen it. It's a classic. It's David Lean. It's shot entirely in Venice, except for the interiors, which are obviously sets. But it's about a woman from Akron, Ohio, and she's a private secretary. So she says, and she's been saving up her whole life to go to Venice. And she goes there, and this guy hits on her, and she's like, does she want him to hit on her, or does she not? I can't figure out exactly what's going on with her. And I never really noticed it because I'm so enamored with the history of Venice and Venice itself. And I'm like, that's still there, because, almost everything in Venice is still there. It's not like New York where they knock stuff down. But certain things have been changed or altered, and it's certainly a cleaner town. It's certainly a brighter town. Things are certainly more maintained now. There's a whole lot less laundry, because you see a lot of laundry in that thing. But it's really funny. The one thing I noticed was, because I know the city so well now, when she comes out of the train station, she's going to a pensione, which is in Accademia, which is just to the left as you walk out of the train station. It's really like you get on a boat and you're there in 5 minutes, but the boat goes the other way. And then they go through all the sites down the canal. So they obviously did it for cinematic reasons or whatever. And that's fine. But I'm sure, like me, when something is shot in your town or your city or a place so well, the first thing you go is like, no, that's not there. Oh, no. They just made a right-hand turn on Park Avenue. Now they're in the West Village. Doesn't make any sense. Well, now I do that with Venice, and I was like, why? They're going past the Salute to get to the train station, to get to her hotel. you would not go all the way down. The Salute is at the very end of the Grand Canal where it empties into the lagoon. It's where that makeout point is. So there's no reason for that for her regular boat that she got on. But it's cute. She gets off the train station there. There's all the guys in their white hats and their gleaming white costumes. They're all waiting for all the passengers that are going to be staying in, the Debain or the Excelsior or the Danieli or one of the great hotels that were, there was no Cipriani then. There was a Europa Regina. There was a Monaco. There was the Danieli. There was the Londres, but that's it. Now if there's a lot, now there's the Amman, the St. Regis, which is the Europa Regina. And I'm going on about Venice if you haven't been there, but you've been there because you've watched Sheen's channel and he takes you on these tours. You probably know it as well as I do, but I wouldn't even, if she had some suitcases with her, I would have walked to Academia. She could have easily done it. It would have taken her 10 minutes walk. It's not far. Melly C is in the room. Got picks today. Can't wait to see what they are. But there you're at the toppity top. The latest M&M Tudor BB. Oh, look at that. Black Bay GMT. Uh-oh. Spaghetti-O. Steiny. Hugs from Norway. Hey, I don't know. Are you the only Norwegian we've had in here? I don't know. Nobody's identified themselves as Norwegian. Great to see you in the room, Steiny. Is it Steiny or Steiny? I think it's Steiny. You let me know how the pronunciation is. Dean says, it's been 6 hours and 39 minutes. Not sure how I can fit this into my schedule to watch a replay. Oh, was it 6 hours and 39 minutes? Because he started his stream at like 3 o'clock. I was like, okay, I watched it up until my show, figuring that would be the end of it. I had a very, very small room last night. And now I know why. Because everybody was macking on Venice. And it's fun. Watch him eat and drink and smoke cigars and go to cool restaurants and cool bars. I wish I was doing that. I wrote to him. I was like, I'll kill that bottle with you. Scott E. Love, the newest Patreon. I want a kazoo. I have a kazoo somewhere. We should all get kazoos. I should get kazoos for everybody. And then we could each record a kazoo song with your phone. This is actually was suggested that we do some kind of tune together. This is Andrew's suggestion. Said maybe doing like a Bashtards chorus. I would like to. My thing was, how does everybody record it? But then again, I was thinking, if everybody does a video with their phone, I could edit it and make a new segment for Bastards, for the Bastards Gallery. I like that idea. I thought about it very long and hard, and I was like, there is a way to do that. It was a great idea. And I love everybody bringing their ideas to the table for this show, because this is your show. I just host it. You know that. Vasilios P says, yes, right. Oh, it's 7 hours. Okay, that's interesting. Now I have to remember what I said before. I'm getting better at it. You're going to need a bigger screen for the patron. I'm very blessed. That's all I can say. It's like, even like yesterday was a little depressing, but we had all the core people in it. We all the key. You know who you are. Okay, so that's okay. And it's Oshin, so we share. We love each other, so it's all good. Scotty H. Dave's not here, man. Dave's not here. Where is he? Is he not here? How can you see and I can't see? Because he didn't say anything yet. Huh. Interesting. Billy G. Good evening, folks. Good evening to you, Billy G. Dean with the £4.99. Where are the triangles? You know where they are? They are right where you want them. For you, Dino, you get it. Scotty H says he's got about 1.5 hours left to watch Oshin's big magnum opus. Hey, you know what? I put it, I was sitting on my couch watching his show before I did Bashers, and then I had to clean up and whatever. I don't have to comb my hair anymore or use any hair product or anything anymore. And I just go, okay, I'm done. Maybe I'll just wipe the crumbs off my shirt. But then I watched the rest of it later on, and it was funny because we were watching Summertime, and she was describing where her hotel was, and then you see it, and I go, oh, he's been there, and there's like a cafe or something there. Like, I know I've been there, but I don't know if I've been exactly in there. I think it was called like Campo Volo, and turns out that's exactly where her hotel was. If you haven't seen that movie, I suggest you do. It's a really, really interesting time capsule to see what life was like. This is when people were flying propeller planes, or more than likely, they were getting to Europe via ocean liner. So they'd embark from New York and either go to Le Havre, or to Southampton, go to London, and then take ferries or little prop planes. Because travel back in the day, if I wanted to, today, I'm gonna come meet you. I could go to Kennedy Airport and figure out a way. I don't think there's a direct flight. I've never flown directly to Venice ever. I always go through London or Rome or something like that. And somebody, like, even the new ITA Airlines, which is the new national airline of Italy, used to be Alitalia. And of course, that was because I didn't pay for American Airlines. I wasn't allowed to accumulate miles with all the amazing flights I got to do because of my dad. The only airline that I've ever had like a lot of miles on was Alitalia. And they went out of business. Of course. So now, and they didn't, the new airline did not take over their mileage program, which was called Magnifica, I think. Alitalia, it was called something like that. I forget. What's really sad is on my phone, I have the app for it, and it says not in App Store. Would you like to delete this app? And I'm like, oh no, I don't want to delete it. 20 some odd years of flying on Alitalia. I feel very nostalgic about companies that I like. And I never had a bad flight on Alitalia. Even their little short little hoppers, they'd bring you something that was 10 times better than anything you get in first class. And I never flew first class on Alitalia. I just bought like their $39 or $79, oftentimes I wouldn't know because I was leaving Kennedy Airport and I wouldn't know if I was going through London or Rome because I would be able to change my ticket so much into like, because I was flying on passes. I'd be like, oh, that London flight's looking fucked up. You know what? I'm going to reroute us through Rome. So I wouldn't buy the ticket until I'm airborne. I'd get the Wi-Fi, and then I would just go online and buy the ticket. And I always got good deals. Always did. And I accumulated a lot of miles. I think I had like 50,000 miles on Alitalia, which I don't have anymore. And I don't know, that's not a hell of a lot. But if you use miles plus money, then whatever. But anyway, I'd get like the cheap seat or just the comfort or whatever they offered. And then they would bring you like a tiny little lasagna. And it would look like, in a plastic tray, you pull it open, but it still tasted 10 times better than anything you get on American. So I don't know. Go for yeah. And I used to be really loyal and defend American Airlines, and now I don't have to. The best meal. What is the best meal? Here's a great Bastards question. What flight and what airline were you on that you had a great meal? I've had several because I got to fly first on American Airlines, so I got some decent meals. But the best meal I've ever had was not on American Airlines, and I'll reveal that later. You tell me what your favorite one was. I'm wearing my Speedmaster today because it got no love this week. Speedy Tuesday, I was wearing my brand new Seiko from Julian. And of course it's green, so it's going to get messed up. You're not going to be able to see it. But I didn't wear the Speedmaster at all this week, and I felt bad for her, so I decided to. And I always say her because I think watches are girls. Even if they're masculine watches, I still think of them as girls. I just think anything you have affection for generally tends to be feminine. I don't know what that's about. Dave Fahrenheit 451 says that was a Cheech and Chong reference. I think I might have seen one of their movies. I'm not quite sure. Vasilio says Athens, Roma, Barcelona. That was the best. What is that? Is that a connection? Athens, Rome, Barcelona? Are those the best flights you were ever on, or what are they? What's the best meal you guys have ever had? Let's hear. Carolyn Martin, Emirates to Milan first class. Well, there you go. And I don't know if I've ever told you this story. I think I have, but I will forever have a very bad taste in my mouth when it comes to Emirates because of, I was flying there because we were performing in Athens, and we were doing it was New York, Athens to Dubai, I guess, right? So the promoter put us in coach, and they offered us business class for not so much money, $600 or something like that in the front. And I was like, yeah, we should totally do that. And then Paul was the one that convinced me not to do it. oh yeah, everybody's not going to be able to do that. You got to take one for the team. I was like, okay. Then we went and had a couple of drinks in the bar, and a couple. When I say a couple, I mean two. Because one I have to sing, so I'm not doing crazy stuff. And I had a couple of days anyway, but still, we get on the plane. They serve us food. I don't remember what the food was. I don't remember anything else other than the fact that Paul was not feeling well, got up and passed out while he was trying to get into the lavatory. And then the flight attendant yelled at him and he said, "No, I'm sick. You don't understand. I'm sick. I'm sick." He's like, "Go back to your seat. There's turbulence. Go back to your seat." And then me and John, my guitar player and friend from Hitman, watched him hit the floor. And so we both jumped up, sprung into action, checked to see if what happened to him. We didn't know. And then he vomited all over the floor, which I got on my hands and knees and cleaned up on this Emirates flight. And the flight attendants did nothing to help me. They never asked if he was okay. They never asked anything. He finally kind of snapped out of it and went into the lavatory for a while I finished cleaning everything up. And I went to the flight attendant. I said, "You were supposed to go get a doctor." And, I gave her all the codes because of my dad. You're supposed to tell the pilot and see if there's a doctor on board, because we didn't know whether or not he was having cardiac arrest or something to that effect. They did absolutely nothing other than they said, "How much did he have to drink?" I said, "He had 2 glasses of wine in the airport bar." She goes, "Well, we served him a drink." I said, "No, he ordered a glass of wine and it was delivered to his seat when he had already gotten up and he wasn't going to have it." So, and then I wrote them letters and I was like, trying to get a follow-up on what's going on with this. And they're like, "We don't comment on pending cases." I'm like, "There's no pending case. I never knew who to call or what. They just sucked." So I will never fly Emirates ever again. I probably will never go to Dubai. I don't see that in my future. I've got a lot of other places on my bucket list that I want to go see. That's not one of them. You know, Gucci stores and, all right, the Burj Khalifa. Sure, I'd love to see that. From what I was told, you can skydive off of the Burj Khalifa, but I'd rather skydive out of a plane, which brings me to the point that I've said this to you guys before, that at some point during this summer, my in-laws have a place out on the east end of Long Island, not far from a place that does skydiving. And I am announcing it today. I haven't picked the date yet, but I am announcing that in the month of July or early August, depending on who wants to come and who wants to go, I am planning on doing I've never been skydiving. I've wanted to do it my entire life. I'm ready to do it. And it's on Long Island. So anybody who might be in the New York area, the end of July or early August, write to me at basherdirk@gmail.com. And we could get together and I'll film the whole damn thing. Obviously, when you go to do that, they film your skydive. So I'll get that, and then you give them $50 or whatever it is, I'm sure. And then I can include that. But the whole trip there, lunch, camaraderie, whoever bastards want to go and do that with me, I think it would be a lot of fun to get a little bit of a gang together. I know that a couple of you guys are not far from New York, but if anybody's considering traveling and considering like, well, maybe I'll skydive on my vacation to New York, you're more than welcome to join us. So I'll make that when I know the dates. I'll have a better idea when people tell me, better idea when people tell me, and that's fine too. Okay, here we go. Vaughn says the best meal was YYZ to Venice, direct in business, sirloin and red wine. Was that on Alitalia? It probably was, right? YYZ. So that's cool. See, now I guess like next time I go to Venice, because I'm not flying on the passes anymore, I'll probably do something like that. Fly up to Toronto's close. That's really close. Direct, that would be cool. Yeah. The best flight I ever had was we were on our way to Rome, and we were on a 777-300, and we got business class, and they closed the door. And we were joking the other night about when you fly on passes, like meaning you're flying for free or for the tax or whatever it is, because somebody works there, or because you have a hookup. When you're a professional like me, it means you have an app and you can see how many seats are available. I can tell every single seat that's sold, so I know pretty much where we're going to get. We would sit in this bar called Bobby Vans, and I would that would be my station. I'd get a split of Piper Heidsieck. We'd get a meze plate, and I would just look at all the flights, and I would reroute us as I thought, so we could get first or business. So I knew we were going to get business. I was like, okay, this is great. Originally, we were going through London. Door closes, and I looked at the thing, and I was like, oh wow, there was one seat in first. And then this girl comes up to, she goes, which one of you guys is the lottery winner? And what do you mean? She goes, well, we have a seat up front. And I was like, because I've flown one Alpha before. And I said, Paul, why don't you take it? That's fine. And he's like, I'm going to be asleep right after dinner, so you take it. So I got up one Alpha 777, and I had the most amazing, it was like a it was like a, I don't know, like a, who cares? It was a, like a squash soup. And that doesn't sound good to me, but it was delicious. And then I had, and I don't eat animals, so like this might not be fantastic for everybody, but I had, it was an incredible broccoli rabe orzo pasta dish that was just so perfectly seasoned and delicious with lots and lots. And they had pouyak. So I had some good stuff. And the champagne at that time was, shit, I don't remember, but it was good. It was it's the word I can't say correctly. Grande Sicilia, I guess it is, like Grand Sicily. Who makes that? I think that's made by I forget who makes that, but it's a good make. Oh, and they had Bollinger, which I love. So that was the best one I think I've ever had. That's cool. What airline was that, Vaughn? Tell us. Tell me more. Swiss Air used to have good meals. You know what? Swiss Air, before they became Swiss. I mean, the Swiss do everything right, as we all know. Yeah, they used to do amazing stuff. I love their cabin design. Swiss Air's got a really, really slick cabin design. Like the worst cabin design. Let's talk about the ugliest cabin designs that we've ever seen. Delta, not attractive. Maybe the new one with the doors is nice. I don't like anything that looks like an old Hewlett Packard computer, that molded white plastic. It's not very attractive. It should be like dark or gray or sexy or whatever. The new Delta looks kind of good. British Airways has always had very, very nice cabins. The Emirates cabin, we were in the back of the bus. And while that shit was happening to Paul, our friends were up front, because we have friends who come to all my shows, and they were like in their private double suite or whatever they call them. Crazy. Vasilios P says Singapore Airlines, Emirates, and Thai. I've heard that Singapore Airline has some of the best service in the world, the kindest people, and that sounds really good too. I've never been on any of those airlines, because when you fly for free on one airline, you tend not to. So I've been on British Airways, Lufthansa. I've been on Eastern, that's long gone. TWA, long gone. Alitalia, I'm trying to think. Delta, I've been on a couple times. I've never been on United Airlines ever in my life. I've never been on any of the Emirati. Oh no, I've been on Emirates. I haven't been on. I heard Etihad is pretty amazing too. A lot of people have said great things about it. And I watch those shows. Now, here's the thing about watching all of those shows. Do any of you guys watch those airline shows? How many times do I care about them pulling out an amenity packet, and then people complain about stuff? And to quote, what's his face, the brilliant comedian, he goes, "You're flying in a chair in the sky like a god." People like, I can't believe this. It took off 15 minutes late. And I can't believe this. The Wi-Fi is not working. Can you believe this? The Wi-Fi is not working. What did you do before there was Wi-Fi? You know what you did? You brought a magazine with puzzles, or you read articles. Now they've got TV sets and maps and all kinds of things to keep you busy. Who you got to call? You're on a flight for a couple hours. I mean, my God, the level of complaining. And then I watched, and there's a couple of them that I watched, but now they all seem so whiny. And I'm not going to, I never mention people's names because it's not fair and it's not nice, but I can talk about channels without naming them, right? There's this one guy, and he's British, and he's a bit of a knacker. And he goes and stays at the craziest properties I've ever seen in my life. all of them. You 5, 7 star hotels in Dubai, the best, craziest upper crusty, the Savoy and all the Prince de Galles he stays at them all, and he just whines and complains. And this is a guy I can tell that grew up in like a Birmingham block. You could just tell that this guy is just so new money or whatever. Like, you know what? My father always used to say, you know what you're entitled to? Nothing. And even when you're going full freight, as I have always called it with the airlines, like I was always pleased and thank you. Thank you so much. One time I had a super cunty flight attendant who Paul got, we were both, I was in business, or there was only one seat in business, and then one opened up, and Paul came and he sat right next to me. And this lovely flight attendant says, "Oh, I'll go get him. There's a seat right next to you." Blah blah blah. So we were like, "Yay, we're up front." It was 777-200, so there's no first class. It was business front. Anyway, long story short, this other woman goes, "Who moved you? Why are you moved? What? Why are you moved? Why are you? What happened? Why are you moved?" I said, "Oh, that very nice flight attendant. She saw that we were traveling together, and she asked." And she goes, "I'm the purser on this flight. How's that?" And then we heard them arguing. And she comes up to me. "I'm so sorry. She's the purser." I said, "Fine, fine, fine." So then later on, the meal service comes around, and in business they ask you. Usually they hand you a menu, and they ask you, "Have you seen what you like?" Blah blah blah. I never got a menu. I had no headphones. I didn't have a bottle of water. I didn't say anything. I just was like, okay, I got a map and like a magazine, crosswords. Anyway, so Mean Puss comes up. Meanie flight attendant. Bad day flight attendant lady comes over, and she goes, "What are you having?" And I said, "Do you have I don't know what you have." She goes, "It's in the menu." I said, "Oh, there's no menu here." She goes, "We handed them out." She goes, "I handed them out." I went, "You didn't give me one." And I said, "Do you have a vegetarian option?" She goes, "You can't ask for that. You're non-rev." You are not allowed. It is so against the law, the airline law, for me to say I'm non-rev or for her to say it, because you don't want the paying passengers around you to know that somebody's there for a perk. And it makes sense because, the people in first class are probably paying $10,000 for a first class ticket one way, and I'm paying $279.99. So you don't say it. And I looked at her and I went, "You can't say that." And then the guy in front of us goes, "What does non-rev mean?" I looked at her like this, and then she walked away. Then the nice flight attendant who gave Paul a seat came up with a vegetarian meal from Coach. And then I wrote because I was allowed to, I wrote a nasty letter to her. And her name was Summer. Hardly. There was nothing sunny about her at all. So that happens. Sometimes, when you get these clips, you get these great deals on flights. You get the chair, but sometimes you don't get the great service, because there used to be a time when they didn't know that you were a non-revenue passenger, because the people were complaining, saying, "Listen, we're not getting treated well." But meanwhile, if I worked with somebody, worked for the same company, and then they got seated in my section, and I found that they were non-rev, I would treat them like family. I would treat anybody like family, because I'm a bartender and my job is to, make people feel comfortable. Plus, I'm a people person. She just was having such a wicked day. She was a mean lady. And anyway, and you're not supposed to tip those people or any of that stuff. So I went to my friend who's a flight attendant for American Airlines. I found out exactly who she is, and I got her a gift card to Bloomingdale's. And I said, "Thank you so much for making such a terrible flight so nice. It was great." Vaughn says Air Transat. Oh, wow. That doesn't exist anymore, right? Air Transat? I think that's gone. Dean with the £4.99 super sticker. You want to get a different? Let's get what shall we do for you, monsieur? Let's do cowbell. That Vasilios P was my flight with Alitalia. Alitalia was fantastic. It was a great airline. It's just that, like the Italians do with a lot of things, they run shit into the ground. They're like, whatever, whatever. They don't take care of it. It was such a storied airline. As a matter of fact, when you're in Venice, the best way, and I promise you, because this happened for me, it happened in summertime, and anyone who enters Piazza San Marco needs to enter it on the far right backside. So if I looked on a map, I guess that would be the southwestern. No, it wouldn't be. Would it be? It would be the northeastern corner because I'm thinking about the way it's set up. No, it would be the southwestern, right? No, southwestern is correct. Because you walk in there, it's like the Omega store, which is gone, and Van Cleef and Arpels and all these fancy stores. But right before you, there's a big giant glass mosaic in the pavement, Alitalia from the 1950s or 40s, and it's beautiful art. It's in mosaic. It's gorgeous, 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 and that is where you get the best view because you walk in, you see the Campanile, you see the Church of San Marco, the Basilica, and you get the best view of it. So when you walk in there, it's just overwhelming. That shot in Casino Royale, they do it there too. It's just the best angle to enter there. So yeah, Alitalia was a great airline with an incredible history. What a shame that they allowed that to happen. Now this new company, ITA, they paint the planes are blue, and they're a very, very strange color, like this electric blue. My father always used to say the best plane's the one without paint, because the planes weigh so much more when you put coats of paint. American Airlines were, as you famously know, had no paint on them until composites came out, and then they had to paint them because they were plastic and they looked ugly. But for the most part, American Airlines planes were just polished metal, and that would save money on fuel. And he always said, wouldn't you want to be on a plane that's several tons lighter? You sure would, right? Nathaniel Hannon with $4.99. BA52, Seattle to Heathrow on a 747-400 seat 1A. Kid, I think we are talking. You know what that is? I know it's not in line with the level, but it's not exactly mega, but that's a mega seat. 1A, 1 Alpha is the best seat there is on a plane. I don't care what anybody says. So when I got moved up to that seat, right, I'm all by myself now. And those seats are, I like sitting next to people. Hi, I'm Dirk. Nice to meet you. I like that. I like meeting somebody on the plane, having a conversation or not, or would you like to try my Biscoff, or, whatever it is, I do like those. So maybe they'd share them with me. Like the little amenities. Oh, I'm not going to use this amenity kit or whatever. What do you want? That doesn't exist anymore because everybody wants walls. Everybody wants to be locked away. I want to be alone. Why does everybody want to be alone now? I love traveling and meeting people and finding out, oh, where are you from again? Oh, wow. Hey, you never know. You might meet your wife or your husband or your girlfriend or your boyfriend or who knows, Mile High Club, one of those fun things that could happen to you. And why don't people not want that anymore? People just want to just go like this and be alone. Now they've got walls everywhere. I think that sucks. But 1 Alpha, I was in the 1 Alpha on that flight, and man, the flight attendants couldn't have been nicer. This little blonde, she was the cutest, most adorable. Her name was Savannah. And she was from, I'll never forget, she was from North Carolina. She was so amazing. I took pictures of me and her and the gang. And I went back to go check on Paul, and he was asleep. And I'm like, more champagne, please. Thank you so much. It was really good stuff. Really, really, really terrific stuff. Thank you, Nathaniel. Scott, look, Biscoff. I just said that. Biscoff cookies on American. Don't they have, the first time I ever had Biscoff, I was definitely on a European carrier. Oh, I just realized. I forgot all about this. When I was on tour with the band back in the 90s, they all flew on KLM. And I was going to fly on passes. And at the last minute, my father said, I'll get you an ID-90. You could fly on the same flight as them, but it was too late. So I flew on a 747-400 in first, and God, I don't remember what they fed me. I don't remember, but I think the first time I ever had Biscoff cookies was on KLM, and I don't think we had. I can go buy a big thing of Biscoff at my corner store up here. They have them. they actually have Biscoff, and I only ever saw them on planes. And I know it's like the number one cookie on a plane. And what is it exactly? It's not quite gingerbread. It's not. Is it graham cracker? It's very delicious. And you know what I've done with them? I've made ice cream sandwiches. Get like dulce de leche by Haagen-Dazs, sticking them in between two Biscoffs. That's an amazing dessert. Delicious. And KLM were so nice to us that once when I was flying out of Zurich, I went through a very strange thing, and I don't know what it was, but for about 4 or 5 years, I developed a very severe fear of flying, which thankfully I don't have anymore. I'm like, get me on that plane, rev up that engine. I'd never had it before. I love aviation. I've been around it my whole life. I know more than the average bear about how all the stuff works, and I feel very confident. But for some crazy reason in the 90s, for a couple of years, like I got nervous and cried and went, oh my God, what's happening? What's happening here? I don't know. So I was in first, and I was traveling with the band, and we were all coming home, and they were in the back of the bus. And I went up to the flight attendant and I said, this seat next to me is empty. Can I have my tour manager next to me, my beautiful Todd Confessori T-Boy, known to the rest of the world because he started out with my band as our tour manager and our stage tech locally, and then went on to work for Prince and Janet Jackson and the Eagle, everyone, Kiss. He worked for everybody. He became like the biggest thing in the whole wide world. He sadly passed away about 4 or 5 years ago, and that's where I met David Byrne at his wake, which was so weird. Worked for David Byrne, and David Byrne was telling T-Boy stories. So she said, sure, 1 minute. What's his name? I said, Todd Confessori. And she went in the back and she brought up Todd, and she let him sit, and she let him fly home to America with me in business class, and he got meals and everything. So it all depends on where you go. It all depends on what airline that you're on. Because, American Airlines, and I don't mean the brand, I mean American carriers, American, Delta, United, there's only so much that they can do. European carriers are just so far better. They just are. The food is better. The amenities are better. Even like, take it from me. I'm a guy that was a spoiled little princess bitch for how long in my life? I've flown coach a handful of times, now to forevermore until I figure out a way to get points going. Nothing compared to like BA First or Air France. I mean, have you anybody seen what that looks like? It's all Givenchy, and I mean, it's well done. Maybe it's just that American carriers just, their international services are mostly an afterthought, and no one can catch up with. But that whole Dubai Emirati thing, that's all going to go up in smoke one day, because those countries don't really. I mean, Dubai has no resources. They have nothing. They have to borrow all their money from Abu Dhabi in order to get all those things running. And Etihad's been in so much trouble financially so many times. And what's the other one from Doha? What is that airline? It's a really ugly paint job. It's like gray and like gray and red. What is it? What is the name of that airline? You guys know. I'm going off too much on this. Nathaniel Hanna, I also tried to deplete their champagne. Yeah. One time, Paul and I were on a very quick flight to Montreal from LaGuardia Airport. And it was 6 o'clock in the morning, and it was on a MD-88. Those are the narrow bodies with, 4 engines in the back there. Dual engines on both sides. So they're 4 small things. Those things. And we had a hot dog pilot. He just, we were taxiing. He made the turn and took right off. And she goes, would you like something to drink? We're in first. I said, yeah, I would like a mimosa. Hold the orange juice. She laughed and took the bottle and put it down. Well, we killed it. She took another bottle, pulled it down. And the flight's 37 minutes long. And some guy like 10, 15 minutes before we started to descend, he goes, oh, I'd like to have a mimosa. She goes, oh, I'm so sorry, we're out of champagne. We drank it all. That's the best part. I love drinking on airplanes. Billy G, the latest Breitling and Triumph collaboration is now on the official Triumph YouTube channel. How cool is that? She didn't mention when I was in the Breitling store, Billy G. The beautiful Lauren did not mention that. I'll pull that up in a minute. Vasilios C says, get a GoPro for skydiving. I would do that, Vasilios, but when you go there, they put you can choose to have the helmet with the camera on it, which of course I'm going to do. And also I want the biggest, meanest hunkiest dude, because you have to fly tandem the first time around. You can't go solo. So they strap you into some big guy. He does the landing and whatever. So it better be, John Cena or one of those people. Ray says, lobster a few years back, octopus red waving on a plane. Wow. Scotty Love says, airplane piece. You know what the worst thing you could ever get on an airplane is? Rice. Anything that involves rice, unless you're on an Asian airline, because I guess they know how to do it right. I once got I don't know if I told you guys this. I was once on a flight by myself. I think. No, I wasn't by myself. Paul was here. He was a couple rows by me asleep. And I ordered the vegetarian Indian meal, and there was a ghost pepper in there. It got in there by mistake. Somehow they didn't know what kind of pepper it was. So I'm a couple of drinks in. I'm like watching a movie. And then my eyes just completely stopped working. So much liquid started pouring out of my head, my ears profusely sweating. I could not see a thing. I could feel that it was a pepper. I got up. I was in one of those cubicles, because I was in business class. I got up and I start walking down the aisle. And somebody says, "Are you okay, sir?" I said, "Pepper, pepper, pepper." And somebody came and took a big wad of ice cream and shoved it in my mouth, which kind of diffused the bomb. But then I sat in the lavatory they kept bringing me cold, wet towels to put over my head. And I stayed there for the rest of the flight. That happened too. Crazy shit. But they took care of me. I will say that. J.R. Watch says Ryanair cabins. It says right, the blue and the yellow. It's gorgeous. You forgot me. I need the lottery ticket, please. There, Sean. We once had a guy when we were in Dublin. His name was Keane. I'll never forget it. And Keane was at the George, which is the gayest bar in all of Ireland. And obviously he didn't get lucky because he was really cranky. He was mean to me and Dana and Emmett. Well, it's terrible. RP 1960. We've flown business on both Alitalia and Air France to Milan. This summer we were flying Lufthansa. You know what's really great about that RP 1960? I don't know where you're flying out of, but they are one of the very few airlines that flies the 747-8. The Queen of the Skies is alive, the latest iteration. While it is currently out of production, the scuttlebutt is that the 747 program is being revived because the A380 was a colossal failure for fuel economy. People don't like the plane. People love the 747. It's an icon. I've read several aviation articles that say they're bringing it back, which would be great. But if you get a chance, the only airlines that fly that right now, I believe, are Lufthansa, which has like 20 or 30 of them. Korean Air has them. And I think somebody in Asia has one. But there are only 3 airlines that are currently flying the Dash 8. I'm trying to remember who it was. Qantas got rid of their 747s. They were icons. British Airways got rid of them. British Airways is talking about bringing back their 747-400s, which is amazing. Melly C says, I fly Qantas when I go home. They're Airbus. If you get that A350, oh, you're talking about the A380. I have never flown on it. Paul flew on it, and he said he was on Lufthansa, upstairs, the back row. Now, they don't have the bar in the back like Emirates does. But he said, and I quote, the plane started moving and we were taking off, and I didn't even realize it because it was so stable and so quiet. That's very interesting. I've never been on an A380, but I watch plane porn. Some people watch, porn. I watch planes taking off, plane designs. That's porn for me. It's what I like. Facilities. Everybody's saying the A380. It's an amazing plane. Scotty Love says, I'm the king of almost upgraded to first. If they upgraded 3, I'm 4 on list. What even worse is if you could see it. Like when I'm on non-rev and like there were like 3 seats available in first and I'm 4th on the priority list, I'd be like, fuck. It happens. Happened again last week and coming home from LAX on AA. And AA will always do that to you too. And they'll give you attitude. Now that I'm no longer affiliated with the company, I can say whatever I want about them. Scotty H. He always complains about the telephones I used to watch, but he got on my nerves. That is hilarious shit. Melly C says, you're still a customer. She chose the wrong industry to be in. And it's true. And it says in the book that people flying non-rev are still customers. They're just not paying full freight. Treat them as you would treat your own family. That's what everybody should just say. Air Transat is still around. Wow, I did not know that. You went to Darwin. I need to get down under. I've never been down under. Never, never, never. At Alitalia DC-10. Wow. Shit. Guys, I need to do the Gallery of Bastards because you know what? I've been yakking about planes so goddamn much this whole time. Let's get into the Gallery of Bastards.
The Gallery of Bastards. Send me the shots, the sublimely absurd. The Gallery of Bastards. You share them with me, and I share with the world.
You share them with me, and I share with the world. Thank you, Emmett O'Malley, for that incredible tune. Incredible tune. First up on the Gallery of Bastards is Ken with a beautiful Le Coutre. Not a Je Le Coutre, but a Le Coutre. Remember when they did this? Years ago, they made these automatiques and they didn't have Je on there. They had them just as Le Coutre. That is a beautiful piece. Sinful. What a Don Draper watch. What a classic dress watch. If I was wearing watches, I would definitely be wearing that because I'll never have a Calatrava if I was wearing dress watches. I mean, I have like, what's the dressiest watch I have? Well, Paul's got that amazing Omega 1953 Seamaster calendar. That is a beautiful gold watch. I mean, I guess my Milgauss is the dressiest watch I have. I don't know. I wouldn't wear my Speedy with this. I'd wear the because it's a Rolex and you know, I don't know. Beautiful. That is beautiful. I love to look at those on Chrono 24. Sometimes they can be quite expensive. They're beautiful though. Beautiful movements, amazing. Thank you so much, Ken. Thank you, Ken. Andrew Wolkowicz, are you home from work yet? You should be. It's almost 6 o'clock. He's taking pictures after the rain. Sunset after the rain in the beautiful British Columbia where he lives. Look at this. That is gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Usually you send me 3 in a row. Today he sent me 3 in a row, but usually they're together and they're not. But so more Andrew Wolkowicz. Wow. Oh, look at this. Right after the rain, a rainbow. Somewhere over the rainbow. Everybody ruins that song. They all ruin it. Judy Garland sang it, and they should just leave it alone. She was like, how old was she? 16 when she did that? I think she was 14 when she started pre-production on that. I think they filmed that when she was 15. I mean, I should know that, right? I'm going to lose my card for not knowing exactly when she was born. Look at these rainbows. Oh, wow. You got the whole rainbow. Holy mac. Let's see what kind of stores you have in British Columbia. Do I know any of these? Rona? That's a terrible name for a store, considering everybody's calling Corona Rona at the end. What does that say? Laundry City? What does that say? The Boardwalk. What are these stores over here? I love stores in foreign countries. It's my favorite thing. I love going shopping. For food, mostly. I like to go food shopping. Huh, very interesting. Thank you, Andrew. Where's my earrings? I was watching Shampoo this afternoon. If you've not seen it, Warren Beatty, Julie Christie, and the effervescent and always beautiful Goldie Hawn. Incredible. It's a really good movie. Oh, here's the kids. Here they are, the girls. What are they doing? Oh, look at that. Oh, this is why they've been around so long. And he says he does not trim their nails. How in the world? I guess they have something that they scratch the shit out of. Because, I mean, Laverne's nails got so long, I would have to clip them. I would absolutely a million times have to clip them. Thank you, dear one, for your beautiful kids. Always a welcome addition to the Gallery of Bastards. Send me your shots, the sublime, the obscure. Here is from Ray from the west of Ireland. Ray with a Sheen's favorite birds and a beautiful cow in the background. These guys, they're going to steal your lunch. Do the Irish ones behave in the same way as the Italian ones do? Will they just swoop in with laser sights and remove your sandwich from your hands or your whatever you're having? I mean, what are you having in the west of Ireland? Good clam chowder, good stew. Will they steal your brown bread out of your hands? I bet you that they will. They're beautiful, but then they're very smart. They're incredibly smart. That's the problem. They're too smart. Like, pigeons don't have that reputation. You know why? Because they stupid. They're a little bit dumb. From Ray Ray again, same bird taking flight. Look at that beautiful wingspan. Now, doesn't that look just like the building I was in last week when I went downtown for all you guys? That thing that they call the Oculus, which is not an Oculus at all. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. Look at this. It looks like a painting. When I blow it up, it really does. That's beautiful. I think that's a tattoo. Do you have any tattoos, Ray Ray? If so, that's what it should be. Because look at that. That's right out your window. Jesus Christ. Is that amazing? Guys, if you've never been to the west of Ireland, it is God's country. Truly, 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 it is where God resides. It's just the most unbelievable thing in the whole wide world. Here's Angelo Minichello with a couple of John Deere shots. I'll tell you a story about John Deere in a second. Look at this farming. Look at this. He says, yes, I live on the farm. There's nothing wrong with that, kiddo. Look at this. Amazing. So Paul's cousin is the contadino de latte per formaggio grana padano, which in English means he's the farmer, the cheese farmer for Grana Padano cheese. So he raises all the cows and he milks them every morning, and a truck shows up, big giant truck, sometimes two, to get all the milk, take it, and make Grana Padano cheese. And he's got all these Italian machines, and they all love them and stuff, but Italians are obsessed with John Deere. So he came to America, and Paul and he went up to Vermont on a mission to go purchase a couple of tractors for his farm outside of Milan. And they did. They got a couple, because last time we were there, I think Paul and Emmett drove one. Paul's cousin was like, yeah, go ahead, here, drive it. I didn't want to drive it because, I'm not even legally allowed to drive cars. So I don't. But I would have liked to have driven that. Thank you, Angelo. Richard, feeling patriotic today, said it sounds like a good time to share this with everybody. This is for people outside of the United States. This is a commemorative piece for the prisoners of war and missing in action. So these are the boys and girls who have either died in battle or are missing. And usually we know what that means. And of course, we never forget the people that sacrifice so much for us. And it says, in liberty and justice for all, lest we forget. England, look at that, RAF. Is it a special holiday in England for your forgive me for not knowing. I mean, we have Veterans Day here in the United States. Is it a special day for you guys? The Royal Air Force in Lakenheath in England. Yes, of course. Beautiful memories, and very kind of you. I mean, I'm not man enough to do that, man. I'm not. People love to make fun of, like, I'm not patriotic enough. I'm not nationalist enough. I'm not. I mean, I know people had different mentalities. I'm gonna fight for my country. I'm like, I'm not gonna kill people. Oh my God. I'm totally not going to do that. And everybody did back then. It's a patriotic calling. And I don't have it. I'm amazed by it. And, it's amazing. Incredible. More power to you. People who give their life for other people's liberties. It's an amazing thing. Look at this triumph. Holy shit. That's amazing. Wow. That's beautiful. Before we go, after I'm done with the Bachelor's Gallery, I will go look on the Triumph page and go look to see what them and Breitling have cooked up, my friend. That looks beautiful. And thank you for the patriotic stuff, Richard Petrie. Of course, never forget people, especially if any one of us have lost anybody. My dad was in the service, and he didn't like to talk about it much because I guess he didn't see some stuff that was not very nice. Melly C in the house. Oh, no. Oh my God, this is 100 levels of Richter scale cuteness. Oh, what are you doing? And you're on a box again. It's always on a box. Look at you, Mork. What are you doing? Oh, Mindy. Look at that pensive face, that beautiful little pensive face. Oh, she's a beauty. I always used to like, whenever I was in the sunshine, I'd be like, she'd be laying on top of me, Laverne, and I'd see her whiskers. You always forget that their whiskers on their face are this big because you don't see them until the light catches them, but they're ginormous. And her tutor, look at that. Beautiful. You got a couple of, that's Diet Pepsi. You got what do you call the Timex Pepsi? What is the nickname for that? It's got to have one. It's beautiful. Thank you, Millie C. Always so great to see the kids and your watches. Here's from Jade, a vintage Daniel Roth. We never had one of these on the show before. Look at this interesting design. Now that's Genta, right? I believe that it might be. The waffle dial, Roman numerals. Wow, very interesting. Look at that. Oh, smokes. Wow. Look at that. Wow. What year is it? Did she say? Is there more than one picture? It's only one picture. Let me see. Because I don't open up the email. I just open up the picture. Let me read about this. Hey, Dirk. Hope you're well. I am. Loving the new haircut. Aw, thank you. It's so much cooler. It's so hot here today. It's like 85 and it rained all night. And now it's just a steam room. It's a steam room when you don't want to be in a steam room. It's early 2000s. So is that Genta, Jade? I'm wondering. Because it looks like something that he would have cooked up, doesn't it? Thank you so much for that. Nathaniel Hannon. Ah. Aren't you a clever one? Nathaniel Hannon on bash.com. And there you have it. That is the view that you need to do when you come into Piazza San Marco. And so I was on the phone with Ush the other day, and the plate store that was there forever and ever and ever is gone now. And it was like beautiful crystal and all this beautiful stuff. And it's gone. But that is the way you want to enter into Piazza San Marco. That one, or even this, I think there's one other or two other ones to the right of it. But that's close. It's close. And look, there's a garbage can there, which you won't. When was this? You will never see those now. This is in the winter. Look at this. Look at this shot. It's the most magical place on earth. It really and truly is. Look at this. And absolutely no construction. This is a while ago. Because look, there's no construction. Now there's just sandbags everywhere. And I was there 2 years ago. 2 years ago. Wait a second. 22? No, 21. Oh my God. It'll be 3 years in July. How did that happen? How did that happen? And there was tons of construction. And I saw Sheen was just there and they're still doing stuff. They're doing crazy stuff. That's great. Nathaniel, thank you. That's where you want to go. That is the place. That is the place. And that's it. I got a couple emails, but they are not related to pictures. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the Gallery of Bashtards.
The gallery of bastards. Send me the shots, the sublime leaves of words. The gallery of bastards. You share them with me, and I share with the world.
Nice. I'm just going back to where I left off. Let's see, where was I? Dave Fahrenheit 451 says flying Air Florida. That's not around anymore. When the captain announced that one of their flight attendants was the model from Coppertone. I think her name was Debbie Svensk, and the only reason why I would know that off the top of my head is because she married Peter Criss from Kiss. Isn't that crazy? And of course, one of the passengers looked at her ass and said, "Yes, she was." That's terrible. Single serving friend. It's good. Captain Kirk. Maybe 90% of people are mentally ill now. I think, well, it's a crutch too, because there are it's like Chicken Little. There are mentally ill people in the world. And then there are people who are not mentally ill. There are people who are sick. And then there are people who are not sick. And there are people who are looking for excuses. I always say, I wish I was fucking crazy. I'd have an excuse. Because now everybody's got an excuse of like my eldest sister. I'm not going to say where she works or what she does, but she works in a situation where, let's just say it's educational, and where nonstop people are coming up to her with excuses of why they can't do this, and this, which is criteria that they have to meet. They no longer have to meet that because they say this, that, and you can't ask anybody if, there are people who are really ill in this world that we need to help and need to get medication and whatever it is. People make stuff up. So yeah, maybe it is 90%, 110%. Vaughn says Biscoff available at Costco. Is it? I believe it, but I think it was European first. I don't even know where it comes from. I don't even know. Vasilios P says, yes, my base was in Singapore and went to work for just a few days. Oh, wow. You lived in Singapore. Wow. Ray says, all the best crack on Titanic was down below in steerage. Of course it was, with the Irish and Italians. What are you going to do upstairs? You're going to hang around with those ice cold nasties upstairs? Horrible. Scott E. Love says, Biscoff God tier cookie. I got them in the house right now. I always have them in the house because they're so good. And you know what? When you're in the mood for just a quick snacky and not a savory one or two of them will do the trick. Qatar. Thank you, Melissa. I couldn't remember that. Yeah, that airline's supposed to be fantastic. They've had a lot of big trouble too, and they've got really big problems with their Airbus A350s. I know Boeing's in the shitter right now. Like Jeff Bezos sent like how many people in the last 6 months into space on his little mini rocket? Meanwhile, the Boeing Starliner, they scrapped 3 launches. Like, oh God, but apparently the paint on the A350 won't stick. So I guess they just have to change. Thank you, Vaughn. Vaughn said it too. I was scared in Aerosvit Ukrainian flight on an old 737. I am sure you were. Now, I believe there's a lot of flights I don't remember because my parents dragged us all over the planet when we were kids. I've been to Iceland. I've been to Greenland. I remember being in Nuuk, and I don't even think it was Reykjavik. I think we were in Keflavik. I don't know why I think that, but I remember we used to take lots of different weird flights. We flew Lufthansa a lot as kids. And I believe at one point in time we were on an Aeroflot flight. I had a friend who took an Aeroflot flight who said that at one point there was like a fog in the aisles, and they were like, "Oh no, don't worry about it. It's just condensation from the pressurization." What kind of plane is that? Yeah. Vaughn says the Qatar Airlines or Qatar, or however you say it, Qatar, the grayish coloring with the red lettering. It's a really ugly livery, but it's got like what is that? A deer or a stag? What is the correct terminology for that? Scott E. Love says Talking Head Studio was in LIC. Isn't that right? They had the second floor. My friend's Hungarian dad had his wood shop on the ground floor. He'd throw shit at the ceiling and yell at them in Hungarian. Dude, tell me where, because that's where I live. Send it to me at basherdirk@gmail.com. Really wonder where that was. I know a lot of people did a lot of stuff back here back in the day. Seafood on a plane. Never ever have seafood on a plane unless you're in first class in a really fancy joint. I wouldn't do it. Ray says 7-minute flight mainland to Aaron Cessna. Yeah, I don't want to get on this. Don't like it. Shit airline Aero Mexico. We call it Aero Crashico. That's its nickname. Melly C says that JLC is gorgeous, isn't it? Really, but it's just a LC. Scotty H. Lord H. I'm a plane porn addict, dude. Let's talk. I watch all the plane takeoffs. Watch Vicarious Voyager. He's like he's Asian. However, he's based in family lived in Riyadh, I think. I don't know. He's very smart and he's so funny. Vicarious Voyager. He's one of those guys that reviews flights, but that guy from Sweden with his boyfriend. Oh God, the two of them make me sick. It's like, you're not going to see, I'm not going to do those videos with Paul. He's not going to do it, but it's just like, oh God, enough already. It's annoying. And he's prissy and he hates everything. Stop hating everything. You're in a chair in the sky, and he's very young, and he's flying all first class flights. Come on. Scotty H says your favorite color scheme is the new Ita, huh? You know what it is? It's the blue is a big throw off for me, because what does blue have to do with Italy? I don't know. It's a beautiful blue and it's extremely iridescent. I've seen it up close and it's shocking. I mean, obviously, I will be flying on that airline at some point because I have to get to Italy and stuff. Oh, it's British D-Day. Oh, right, D-Day, right. Okay, good. Thank you. No, I know what that means, of course. It's Normandy. No, D-Day. D-Day. Everybody's saying D-Day. We have is this today D-Day here too? Shit. Is it D-Day? D-Day's got to be all over the world, right? D-Day. Hold on. I'm Googling it now just to show how stupid I am. Why is my Google not working? D-Day. June 6th. It's for the whole wide world. The landing in Normandy, of course. D-Day. Sorry about that. I should know that off the top of my head. I've never been to the Normandy beaches. I'd love to go and see. Where is the Saint Michel or Michel is there too, right? The castle that is accessible by the beach, and then it's not. It's got a bridge. Incredible. Masked Marvel. We love the Masked Marvel. Vasilius P. Loving that. Anniversary. Thank you for everybody for letting me know. Alain Gilbert says upvote. Yeah, at some point we had like 72 people in the room. I hope we have a couple of upvotes for the show. Roar of the Tiger, how are you and your family doing? The D-Day landing beaches in Normandy, Utah, Omaha, Gold, Juneau, and Sword. Perfect day, of course. I just wasn't paying attention. Angelo Minikilo, Aeroflot, alt name Aeroplop. I mean, those Tupolevs and the illusions, scary stuff. Sorry stuff. Ray's like Lion Air. Sorry. My favorite is there's a show called Catastrophe. Sharon Horgan and Rob Delaney, and her mother comes over from Ireland, and the husband was having a heart attack, and she goes, he said he smelled fresh raspberries, and I went, oh, fresh fruit on Ryanair, like that'll happen. It'll never happen. I love blue. Blue is my favorite color, but well, Capri, is that the official color of Capri? I don't know. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful paint job. It's just it just didn't make any sense to me. And they own the rights to the name Alitalia, and the name Ita. And if you go on Ita right now, their amenities, their headphones, their plates, their forks, and knives still say Alitalia on them. So the Italian people have been saying, just rename it Alitalia. It's the same airline anyway. So who knows if that will stick or eventually they'll get rid of it. I don't know. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that is the show. Thank you for joining me on this Thursday. What a wonderful crowd. Thank you for the super chatters. Andrew, Dean, Nathaniel, Scotty H, Nathaniel. Welcome, 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 welcome. Everybody, welcome Mr. Love to the Patreon. Thank you so much for doing that. You have no idea how that helps me out. You guys know how much I love to do this show. It's your show. I just host it, and that's how it works. Now, tomorrow, I will be coming to you live at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I will be. Where's my thing? Do you want to see it? Did I put it back in the box? What did I do with it? Here it is. So this is my device. Ready? So I unclick this, right? And then I flip this up, and this is the thing I hold on to. And this is, see, I'll do this, and it won't do it because there's no phone in it. So this thing, you clip the phone onto here, and I have an extender that pops up. This comes up. See? This is what I've been using. And this is one of the items that, all you super chatters and Patreons and all the things. I'm getting new audio, so I have better audio for all you guys. This is to take this show on the road and make better content for you guys. I'm so friggin' grateful for all of it. Thank you so much. And I can put this down now. And lock it. And then when I lock it, it automatically shuts itself off, which is very, very cool. It's so compact. And it's really, really cool. And I just put this on the bottom. It screws in, and then it's an instant tripod. Pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. Thank you so much for that. And did I not see this over the rainbow? Me and my first gimme ringtones. I don't think I gave you a thing for that. I don't want to miss out on any of those. So let's give you her. Thank you so much, Nathaniel, and all of you for tuning in. Remember, I'll be here tomorrow night live on the road. I'll be broadcasting from somewhere in New York City. Send me a chat, the sublime and obscure, to basherdirk@gmail.com of where you'd like me to go tomorrow. I can't go to anything that's going to be closed like the Statue of Liberty. I'm going to get to all of those. Believe me. But I can't go when it's closed. So I might get on a boat. I will definitely get on the boat here And then when Asheen joins the show at 6 p.m., we can have another fun Friday. Last Friday was so much fun. I had the best time ever. We had record-breaking crowds, amazing super chats, amazing. Everybody was so good. I had such I got a little tipsy for like the first 5 minutes, and then I wasn't at all. But one of you guys wrote and said, like, let's play the let's get Dirk drunk game. Don't get Dirk drunk because I got to operate, you know, boom, 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 boom. It's too hard to do it. Again, thank you everybody for the Patreon Pantheon. I can't thank you enough. Asheen will be on tomorrow with Who Needs a Drink from 4 to 6. Then he'll be joining me. I'll be back on Sunday for Sunday Mass. And then I might do it a little bit earlier this year because I have to go to graduation, and I'll let you guys all know what I'm doing on tomorrow's show. I'll let you know. So remember, ladies and gentlemen, to please say please and thank you. Remember to hold the door open, and always remember that when you encounter unkindness, you can't always know what that person's going through. You got to give them the benefit of the doubt. You know why? Because they might be having a really bad day and something terrible happened to them. Either that or they're just a